Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments and all your questions Manchester United related, of course, brought to you by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. And it is the Friday edition of the ManDem United podcast. So I'm joined by my bro from the West Coast. Eddie is in the building. What are you telling me, Eddie? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A lot of stuff going on this week, dog. And I'm still here. I'm still here. So
You made
we
it. That's all
outside.
that
We
matters, man. You
outside,
made it.
man. Yeah, man. Happy Friday, everyone. Y'all a bit further along in the Friday celebration. I'm just, we just getting up to the madness. So yeah, I'm all right though.
It's all good, man. Love to hear that. Bladge up everyone who is currently locked in. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's smash the likes up on the video. Let's get into double figures. Share this across all the socials as well. And subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit your notification bell. We're only looking for 3 new subscribers during the stream to get us up to 5,240. And let's, like I said, bump up them likes as well. Like check 1212. Get your questions in, or like I always state, make sure you keep them Manchester United related. And if you do super chat, we'll get straight to your comment as well. Big up to Dennis, says big up Flawless. He says smash the likes up early,
Shout out
people.
Dennis.
Shout out Dennis. 100 says big up Flawless and Eddie. Big up to 100 every single time. Starlord says big up everyone on my way home. Let's go. Big up to Starlord each and every time. As you can see from the title, people, Manchester United to face Leeds for the second time in 5 days. So we play Leeds again away in the Premier League after drawing to them at home 2-all. News came out today saying no Martial, no Anthony, no McTominay for the Leeds game and the Barcelona game. So they're ruled out. You know what I'm saying? They're ruled out for those 2 games, those 3 players. I don't think Martial is too much of a shock. It's just strange because we actually don't know what happened. There's been no reports of what the injury actually was. He scored and then got injured, and now he's going to be out for both Leeds. Well, he's out for one Leeds game. He's out for this Leeds game coming up and the Barcelona game. Anthony being out, that is a concern. And then McTominay, who doesn't normally get injured, actually. One thing about McTominay is he's normally fairly reliable. He's rarely, when I think about it, he rarely gets injured. Very similar to Bruno. Like it's rare that McTominay, and even when McTominay is injured occasionally, it's normally only like 1 or 2 games. But I feel like we've not seen him around a lot. And that squad's already thin as it is, especially in midfield. No McTominay, Casemiro suspended, Ericsson is injured. So we're only left with senior midfielders of Fred and Sabitzer. They're the only 2 that we have as well. Big up to RJ as well. Says big up everyone. Drizzy that says big up to Eddie as well. What do you think about Anthony missing the Barcelona game? Big miss. Big miss. We seen it like in regards to the Leeds game. And yes, he is a little bit one-dimensional at times. Yes, he needs to improve. But what he offers us out there, I've stated all the time about being an outlet. When he don't play, our team looks so lopsided. We look so left side dominant. Like Anthony offers us so much more. And even just like controlling the ball, holding it up and then laying it off, like something as simple as that, when it's not there, is missed. And this is why I defend Anthony, because I believe, even though he deserves criticism, I believe the criticism is over the top and he's nowhere near as bad as people make out. That's what I would say. So with him missing the Barcelona game, it's a blow. I still expect us to go there and do the business though. Without Anthony, because Casemiro will be back. So it'll be Casemiro probably alongside Sabitzer. Martinez is missing that game, but it's still Shaw, Varane. You got Dello and Wan. Well, if Wan-Bissaka's fit, I'm not sure, but you got Dello. You got Malacia. Rashford's still there. You have Weghorst. I still think we have enough. You got Bruno. We still have enough going forward. But Eddie, Eddie, yeah, let's start with the Leeds game. We'll start there. Thoughts on the Leeds game?
Um, it was just a collection of what's that book series called? It was a series of unfortunate events, you know. From the Casemiro missing the game to the opening, what was it? First 2 minutes of the game
Yeah,
where he
first 2 minutes.
conceded.
Yeah, we conceded. We started off so very sloppy. I had a poor first half as well.
But yeah, I think for me, what was very apparent, was our lack of a midfield.
Mm,
Um, that was, I think, for me, what caused us to struggle. I think because Casemiro had been such a raider, we had gotten used to how special he is in the midfield, and
mm,
you looked at it, Varane looked lost. At times, Martinez looked lost on who to pass the ball to. A bunch of sideways passing, which we hadn't seen in a long time. But for me, I took that as, we missed a Casemiro. And to an extent, we somewhat missed McTominay because although technically he's not, and I think just on form, he's not what we need,
mhm,
he's better than nothing at this point. When you're dealing with the unfortunate setup and makeup of this team, which is done by these clowns that still own us,
mhm.
um, they didn't really invest. They didn't really invest in the squad this year. You got a couple players, even those ones were a struggle. And the crazy thing was, I think when I started talking about transfers when they first started coming, I was like, I expected like about seven because I knew I expected two during the transfer window. I did
Mm.
expect two during the transfer window. Now, did I think we'd have to be missing Ericsson for 5 to 6 months and that's the reason we got it? No. Did I think it had to be because Martial was looked like he had a bad injury and we weren't going to see him again? No.
Mm.
I expected those two signings to bolster what we already had.
Yo,
Um, and so when you look at the squad, it's just a testament to Ten Hag, man. Like I we have thrown the kitchen sink at him this year from dealing with the fan unrest, dealing with the club turnover, dealing with
yeah.
the Ronaldo
Yeah.
situation.
Yes.
And he's passed everything. He's been
Facts.
through a lot. For a first time manager, I don't know if they could have handled anybody else could have handled what he's had to go through. Like
Mm.
then and again, it's happening at Manchester United. And like I always say, like we're a platform where it's worldwide.
Yes.
We don't get the benefit of kind of hiding these things off or not explaining what's going on. We have to put everything on Front Street. And just back to the game, I the other side of that bad part is you see the resiliency.
Yes.
You saw because again that start
Mm.
put us behind the eight ball. But then the goal we conceded is a demoralizer. You're talking about an
Very
own
much so.
goal to go
I
down
said that.
2-0.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt that way when it went in. It was like someone, when someone like punched you in the stomach. It was like
Yeah,
kind of like that. That's how it felt. It was very deflating. The
deflate. That's a
manner in which the
perfect
goal
word.
was,
Perfect
yeah,
word. Yeah,
extremely deflating watching, and you're like, like that could have went anywhere, and it's like, it's not going to be our night. That's what it's
yeah.
feeling. Yeah, go on, carry on, family.
And it's just crazy, bro. It's just like to see, and then I've been on my little fucking piece of wood in the middle of the ocean by myself. It felt sometimes, but Sancho turning up, doing the business is just it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes,
Rashford,
yes.
hell
Rashford
of
doing,
like
yeah. Rashford is that head is ridiculous.
I think
That header he
he's
scored is
putting like a
ridiculous.
magnet on the ball so it can just find its way in the goal, whichever way he
Yes,
strikes it at this point. I ain't got
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
to say because his goals are actually impactful this time around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just see him kind of running around and by byproduct he gets a goal. These times he's making ones. Now I'm not. I'm bringing the good part out because again, like I told you the other day, I'm burning pom poms.
Oh yeah,
I
we
got
go,
a
we go,
whole
we
pitch.
gonna
I
get to
got a
that.
whole
We
pick.
gonna get to that because
Yeah,
people have
man.
mentioned it in the
But
chat, and we gonna get to that. You and Taza go back and forth on this, which is hilarious. I don't know where it stemmed from. between you and Mertaz. I don't know
Hey
what
man,
happened.
he wanted to be he wanted to cheerlead the daycare center, and I'm saying we Manchester United. What you want? Go get me something else, man.
Like, so yeah, we're gonna get into that. People have already mentioned it in the chat. Before we continue, we have hit double figure likes. Let's get up to 20 likes, people. Like check 1212. Let's get up to 20 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you are new as well. Don't forget that. And share this across all the socials as well. You can go to the Sarcasm City TV socials, my socials, share it from the Twitter, retweet and like from the Twitter, share from the Instagram as well. Let's get on that. Continue to get your questions in, because I knew Eddie was gonna mention it. So it was good to get, like you said, the good stuff out of the way in terms of Rashford, in terms of Sancho performance, in terms of the resilience. Yes, we was sloppy at the start, 110%. I know you've got a lot to say on Garnacho, so I'm going to give you the floor in a sec once I respond to a couple comments and then let you get everything off your chest in regards to that. I see people mentioning Anthony missing the Barcelona game. We will also get to that as well. Right, let's see. So Drizzy does here says Barcelona is going to have a field day with Garnacho playing. Jez then says, I really don't understand this Garnacho hate flawless is getting worse after only having a 1 or 2 bad games. Is it because United fans are so invested in the title talk? Then Drizzy does responds and says, Jez, it's not hate. People don't like people criticizing Garnacho because he's young. So what I will say on it is, Jez, is it's the yin and the yang. Because he played well and got so much praise and got so much positive talk surrounding him, now that he's dropped off, he's now receiving criticism. And that's where it stands. Very similar to, not similar actually, but kind of like why I personally defended Paul Pogba so heavily. And it wasn't before his performances on the pitch, because he was criticized a lot of the time for off the field activities. And I'm like, if you're going to criticize Paul Pogba as a footballer, cool. Criticize him for what he does on the pitch. But people are talking about all these things off the pitch that don't matter. So with Garnacho, is the criticism. The problem is, does he deserve to be criticized for playing poorly? Yes. Once you play for Manchester United Football Club and you put on that red shirt and you perform poorly in the first team, you deserve to be criticized. 110%. No matter if you're 18, doesn't matter if you're 38. Because we've seen a 38-year-old in Ronaldo get criticized. We've seen that with Garnacho. But then criticism to me, and this is just me talking, is then within context. It's then how harsh I look at my senior players and my better players to do better than my youngsters. So that performance there, I'm looking more at a Rashford. I'm looking more at a Bruno. I'm looking at a Fred. I'm looking at a Sabitzer, even though Sabitzer is new. I'm looking at a Martinez. I'm looking at a Varane. I'm looking at my senior guys. And I'm on top of that, I'm looking at my better players to perform. So with Garnacho, yes, he deserves criticism. Do I believe some of the criticism of him is over the top? Yes. He shouldn't be first port of call when being criticized, is what I'm saying. There should be a hierarchy in the criticism, is what I'm saying. That's my personal thing, him being 18. That's my personal opinion on it. There's no way he should be getting criticized over before a Varane, if Varane plays poorly, a Martinez, a Fred, who was horrendous that game. That should be your senior player. I'm not looking at the 18-year-old. I'm looking at man who's 25, 26. And that's where it is. Because even Drizzy does saying, oh, Barcelona's going to have a field day with Garnacho playing. This is what I'm talking about when I say over the top. Garnacho shouldn't be the first port of call when we're playing at Barcelona. I'm looking at Rashford. Anthony's now missing. I'm looking at Bruno. Even Weghorst, Sabitzer, Fred, Casemiro. There's a hierarchy for this. There's a totem pole. Kind of like when, for those that know this, Charlemagne spoke on it when Birdman ran up on in the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? And then Charlemagne was like, there's a high, go play tough with the tough guys. He's like, I'm not above being ran up on, but go talk about, go deal with the tough guys first before you get to me. And that's how I kind of look at this. And this is what I'm talking about with the over the top. If Manchester United are relying on Garnacho to get past Barcelona, we are in a terrible state, and we're not. But it doesn't mean he's not above criticism. But again, this comes back to our squad being thin and the quality. An 18-year-old who's not special, because he's not a generational 18-year-old. He's not Rooney at 18. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo at 18. So therefore, we shouldn't be relying on him. We shouldn't be relying upon him so heavily. But this is how thin our squad is. Couple of injuries and he's playing. And I believe Ten Hag did get it wrong, playing him on the left and Rashford on the right. I would have switched it. I think he should have played Rashford on the left and played Garnacho on the right. But yeah, each to their own with this. Each to their own. And now And to Z, let's not do this, Z. Let's not do this. So let me just kill this dead. He says, "Big up to you, man. Rants is a disgrace to get on. I like that on a kid. That's straight bullying. I'm sorry, but he would have to block me on his channel. Garnacho shouldn't even be playing for us. Flawless. It seems like you guys are scared to reply to rants when he's talking crap. Did you watch the full show? Because Eddie, I know you watched the full show, and you heard me, you heard Saeed talking about this and saying
It
I
was
was saying
30
exactly.
minutes of pushback.
It's see, and now if I get mad and then block you, Z, you gonna get mad at me for you said you talking about he's a disgrace, but you're here spreading information. Clearly, you didn't watch the show. The crazy part about this is me and Eddie disagree on Garnacho. That's the craziest part about this. But he just said then there's 30 minutes of pushback. If you only watch the clip, and shout out to my guy Rants. If you only watch the clip he put on his YouTube, don't talk about it. You can go to Rance's Twitch and go watch the full show and watch me, Rance, and Saeed have the and Aaron have the conversation about it. But we know Rance is not going to change his mind. So when you say, "Oh, it seems you guys are scared to reply," go back and watch the show. Please do not lie on my name. We can disagree all we want. I'm cool with that. Whether it's me and Eddie, whether it's you lot in the chat, but don't lie on my name. Let's not do that. Because now if I block you, now it's an issue. Eddie just said there 30 minutes of pushback, and this is something me and Eddie disagree on. Don't know what you want me to tell man to change his mind. No, Rance, and let me not do this. Even though I disagree with Rance, he's not a disgrace. Rance just gives his opinion on that player. He like people cut this out. Why is it a disgrace? Because he's got a big platform. So if Rance had one follower and was saying that, it wouldn't be a disgrace. But because he has a massive following, people have an issue with it. Absolute nonsense. Absolutely. Don't come here and lie on my name. Don't ever do that, Z. I swear on my life, don't ever do that. Don't come here and lie about, "Oh, it seems you guys are scared." You didn't watch the show. So don't lie on my name. But yeah, Eddie, go on. I just had to get that out here because people love talking
That's what
rubbish.
I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Like, I was watching it and I was just like, yeah, this is pretty much what I expected. Like, there's two sides of it. There's people like me who have absolutely no patience for it, and I thought Rance was being nice. There's people like Flawless who give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think put it in a perspective where you can somewhat understand why they have their pushback against the criticism against Garnacho. But to call another man a disgrace because he has an opinion, that's
outrageous. Don't do that. Because I wouldn't, sorry to cut you off, Z, I wouldn't call you a disgrace for having a different opinion. I'll call you I'll say you're wrong and call you a disgrace for lying on my name here because we had a discussion on it. You don't believe me? Go back and watch the show.
I'm trying to be nice because I can see why Flawless would get upset when you mischaracterize what happened and how he approached it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to respectfully ask you to just take that back because again, here you are saying you just didn't like how he spoke down on the kid. He didn't speak down on the kid.
He criticized him.
And
the thing is, Z, I'm with you in terms of I think he criticized him. I think he was harsh on him with the criticism, but I don't make him a disgrace. That's just his opinion. People put too much stock. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like what man is saying, don't watch. All I'm saying is just don't lie on my name. That's all I'm saying. Let's get that clear. You know what I'm saying? That man's scared or man shook. No, we're talking football. Yeah. It's really not that big of an issue.
It's not that deep.
I'm saying it's really not.
Deep. And so for me, when it comes to Garnacho,
but yeah, go on. Yeah, I'll let you get off your chest.
Yeah, and again, this is another point that y'all got to understand. If Garnacho was playing in the United States and he had put on that performance and we were as engulfed in football as we is about other sports, he would be memed. He would get killed on every morning talk show, every afternoon talk show, every evening talk show. There would be a spotlight on him, the likes you've never seen. And appreciate Des for pointing that out. Here's the thing. That was quite possibly one of the worst performances I've ever seen somebody put in a United shirt. And for me, the only thing that I try to push back upon is what I believe is the outrageous level of praise that I've seen him get for doing his job.
Facts.
So I feel as though I need to bring the pendulum back the other way by trying to state my point. What's that brother's name? I don't even remember the brother's name, but I know he's barbecue chicken. Who is going up against?
Oh, Aylin,
Ailing,
the fullback, the
bro.
fullback. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Since he's been in this premiership,
Hmm.
the amount of games I've seen him get cooked by all varieties of ringers is hilarious.
Hmm.
And then we get to yesterday or 2 days ago. And for Garnacho to look so out of place, it was scary. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. It was scary because we talked about it all the time. No, I mean, he was bad, Emma. He was very bad. Thank you for always pulling up Emma and being a real one in the chat.
Shout
We
out to him
appreciate you, Emma.
every single
But
time.
I disagree. He was terrible. He was awful. And I think you saw the distinct level in the different level in play when Sancho came onto that left and he was off. I I I think at his very best, he is a 20-minute sub, 30-minute sub, 45 you're pushing it because what he offers isn't as dynamic as what people think. His directness helps him a lot, right? His ability to understand what he wants to do or what he's trying to do in a certain level of time will always be to his advantage. His relentlessness will always give him an advantage. He's always going to attack, but that's it. That's all I've seen from his game. All I've seen from his game is final third action. I don't see him being an influence when we lose the ball. I don't see him being helping out in the midfield. It is legit. The only thing that I see from this guy is when he has the ball somewhat close to the goal. And in a Ten Hag system, those kinds of players are not what we usually need. We need versatile wingers, right?
Facts.
To to put it bluntly, he looked like he was still playing. He was Rashford still playing under Ollie, where you can walk around, but once you see the ball, get ball, try and make a play. Now that I've seen what I've seen from Rashford is a total 180. Not only is he involved in the goal scoring, which he's been
Hmm.
doing a phenomenal job of, he gets involved in everything else. And
Facts.
so, Gar. No, I said one of the worst. I said one of the worst performances I've seen because everything he did was poor. Everything he did was poor. And I'm also factoring in who he was playing against.
Facts.
Leeds, that team, they were playing American football. That's an American team. That they got McKinney, Adams, Aronson. They got all these American brothers, and it's just running and kicking people, as you can see by last match. That was all it was. It wasn't anything. Their press got us into trouble because again, we didn't have the prerequisite players in the midfield to control the ball, and we got exposed. So I just with Garnacho, I'm not a fan of him starting. Um, but again, I think like we've said multiple times, the squad isn't deep enough for us to replace somebody missing with somebody of that same quality. We don't have the squad for it. You think okay, and a healthy Martial, yes, but we don't have a healthy Martial.
We really don't.
You think with the wing situation, we have a right wing, but we don't have a healthy Anthony. And it's a blessing in disguise that Sancho came back the what the time he did, because
Hmm.
could you imagine what we'd be having to do if we didn't have him?
Yeah, facts. Probably be Palestri out there or even Ganacho.
Palestri, and
It's
even
Palestri,
him.
Ganacho, and
People, let me make this perfectly
hmm,
clear. I am not a fan of any of the young talent, other than I haven't seen enough, but Mano looked calm, and I can't say if I'm a fan of Iqbal because he doesn't play.
Yeah, I've not seen
I haven't seen
Iqbal,
him in the
and
fire
Kobe
like
Mano, I
that.
think only got like 20 minutes, so I can't really
Yeah.
judge you and say, yeah,
So
yo, this
those
or
two
yo,
I
that.
don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to for me, man. I just think that people put way too much, give way too much, and his attitude sucks. I think that's one of the worst parts of it. That
Cool.
we have multiple instances of you showing an attitude, and you're not even that guy. So yeah, it was smelly, but not to talk too much about it because we move. We move. It was a 2-2 draw, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't we didn't lose the game. I only find him at fault percentage wise maybe like 30% for that goal. That first goal, I think again it's just Bruno being Bruno for us. And like I said, I again people, if it makes sense, this is how it makes sense of it. He's still not higher on my shit list than Bruno, right? Like Bruno's at the
Mm-hmm.
top, and
Right.
people want me to criticize. That's the thing with Murtaza. Murtaza want me to come on here and criticize Fred. Like that's not something that I don't do. Like Fred had
You
a
know,
good
you're a
game.
fan.
You guys,
Yeah,
we guys,
even though you're a
it's
fan, you
easy.
will
It's
criticize
easier
him.
for y'all to say Fred had a bad game than it is for y'all to say he had a good game. But
It's about being. Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's easier for y'all to say that Garnacho had a good game when he might not have, or he played okay, than he had a bad game. That's the inconsistency I'm talking about.
Fair. You looking for it to be fair, and I get
Yeah.
that. And you lot again continue to bump up the likes. We've got over 40 of you lot locked in. Let's get up to 30 likes. So we're not even at 20. Let's get up to 30 likes. Like check 1 2 1 2. Let's bump that up because I've started. So Z, don't worry about it. It's done, man. You know what I'm saying? But big up. It's all good. It's all good. And I think was it Book Clock said it here when he said our fan base overgassed him as usual after a few decent games, and he can't meet those expectations. And that's why I stated because he played well and then was praised so highly. Now you're falling short of that. Fans are looking at it going, well, let's criticize him because he's not meeting those expectations. Was he over? It always happens. A young player plays well, he'll get overhyped. Young player plays poorly, I think they'll get overly criticized. I think people find it very tough to find a middle ground on it. And I'm trying to be that middle ground. Again, that's why I state, should he be criticized for his recent performances, in particular that Leeds performance? Yes. But then I'm still looking at it and going, you're 18, you're inconsistent. There's enough where I think you can bounce back. And just against Leeds away and just put in a better performance. I'm not even saying be 8, 9 out of 10, just be a 6 or 7 and just get back up to speed, get some form of like, have a bright cameo. Because he's getting in positions to score goals and get assists. He's just not scoring goals or getting assists. But that's one thing
Yeah.
I do like about him. I think you mentioned it. Relentless. Him being direct. Is he the be all and end all? No. But with the way our squad is right now, he's going to play games. Anthony's now injured. So we're one light there. So it's Rashford. You got Sancho. Garnacho's probably the next one on the list. Because he'll be ahead of a Palestri in the pecking order. He's ahead of a Langer in the pecking order. All right, you can say Bruno can play wide right, but then we don't even have a number 10 to back up Bruno. So you're looking at it, he's now third choice. Like if it's not Rashford or Sancho, it's him. And then that's bear in mind, say a Veghorst gets injured, Rashford might have to play through the middle. And then he has to play. Injuries, and this is why I keep talking about our squad being like, but yeah, but look, our fan base did overgas him because our fan base loves to overgas youth products. We do it all the time and we'll continue to it. If Kobe Mano, let's say for instance, Kobe Mano has a great game against Leeds. Let's say he plays on Sunday, has a fantastic game against Leeds, plays against Leicester, has another great game, plays against West Ham and plays well. I'm on March the 1st. Our fan base gonna be gassing it. Oh, this is the guy. We don't need, not the entire fan base, but some of the fan base. We don't need to sign another midfielder. We've got another star, this, and that. Whereas if he plays poorly, let's say he plays poor on Sunday at Leeds and he plays poor against Leicester and then he's average against West Ham in the FA Cup, certain section of our fan base will turn around and say, not good enough, should never be in the squad, will never make it. It's like there has to be some middle ground with Garnacho. I need a bigger sample size. Bear in mind, he wasn't even supposed to be involved. No one was talking about him as a player for us this season. And then he kind of burst onto the scene and had impact. But I'm giving him to the end of the season so then I can properly assess him. But one thing I do like, I think he has attributes that can be effective and he can help us this season. But do his performances need to improve? Absolutely. Absolutely, they do. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. You lot continue to bump up the likes. We've only just gone over 20 and there's 50 of you lot locked in. Let's get up to 30 likes, people. 9 more. Let's get up to 30 likes. I'm only looking for 2 more subscribers now. 2 more subscribers. So we're looking for 9 more likes to get up to 30 likes. And we're looking for 2 more subscribers as well. Let's see where it is. And yeah, to an extent as well, Jez, a lot of our fan base got ahead of themselves with the title talk. And the same way our fan base got overly gassed with Garnacho in his form, we got gassed up with the title talk. And I said this, Cam said it to me yesterday. He said, you said on Shameless, what happens if we draw one of these games against Leeds? Is all of a sudden the title talk out of the picture? And what happened? We drew against Leeds. So now we don't hear nothing about title talk. But if we won the conversation, someone in the chat already would have been like, yo, Cam, what happens if we beat Leeds? We go second because we play before City. Is the title on? What you saying now? No. Look at the team. We're relying on an 18-year-old. That's just one. You know who relied on the other side? A 21-year-old who's not made his full debut in Palestri. Weghorst, who's here on loan for 6 months. Bruno, who's not good enough. Sabitzer, who's just got here. Fred and McTominay, who are not good enough long-term. We know these things. Wan-Bissaka is the backup right back. Behind Martinez and Varane, it's Maguire and Lindelof. But people think, yeah, this is the team that's title race. Come on, man. Come on. Just use your brain, people. Just use your eyes, not even your brain. Just use your eyes and just look at the names. Big up to Rego, who says, yo, Flawless, Jared here. Do you think the lack of options forces Ten Hag's hand in playing Sancho on the right, or could he still feature in the number 10 position? I'll let you answer this first, Eddie. And big up to my guy, Double A Talking Kit. Make sure you go subscribe. Yeah, go on, fam.
Yeah, I think he has to start Sancho. Start him off the right. I think from what I've seen from Sancho, he's such a dynamic player that you can literally play him off. You can play him on either side of the pitch, and I think he's our one player you can play on literally any attacking position, and he'll be just fine. I think because from a technical aspect, there's not much that he can't do. I think people are forgetting this is a city academy player, so fluidity in position is something that he's had instilled with him since he started, really training to become a professional footballer. I would start Weghorst and I would start Rashford off the left. At the 10, this is where we're seeing the issues with Bruno, people. This is what we're seeing. Because I don't know a 10 who enjoys being right next to the striker. I don't know a 10 who enjoys going way off to the right when he's supposed to be positioned centrally. Like, part of being a 10 is having the positional awareness to understand where exactly am I supposed to be and how exactly am I supposed to get there. Because I'm the link between the midfield and the attacking front three. But if I turn that from a midfield that's balanced into an attacking front four with two midfielders who don't like to stay deep and receive the ball, who like to be engaged box to box, then you start to see why we have a gap in the midfield, because nobody is there to maintain it and make it their own. I don't even know Leeds midfielders, but I can tell you they probably had more of the ball than our midfield did. And when we got the ball, it's because we won it back. We couldn't string passes together. So if Sancho is in the 10, I would go with that as well. But I don't believe the manager will do that, because I think to an extent of how our team is set up, you have to have Bruno and his pressing do exactly that. But I think for us to take the next level, he has to be out of the team. I'm just going to say it. I don't think we can get to where we're trying to go with him being our focal point in the midfield. And so I think that was proven last night where if you have any other type of midfielder, I'm convinced if we have any other type of midfielder, they put their imprint on the game. Bruno was nowhere to be found that entire game, unless you just saw him running around.
No facts.
So with Sancho being there, it gives us a balance of somebody who can hold the ball up and engage others into the play. You saw how many 1-2s he was getting into with Shaw. Same thing with even Rashford to an extent because they have that certain level of wavelength. So, yeah, for me, I would rather start with Sancho. And again, people can call it harsh, but it's the truth. Garnacho is not the kind of guy to be given 90 minutes at this level. That's just what it is, people. He's
That's
not
fair.
that guy.
Do you know what? And the thing is, that's a fair criticism of him. That's what I'm talking about. That criticism of him is fair. That's what I would say. And I'll get further in that because I know you lot have asked further questions on it and we will. But to Jared who says about this is a good question about the lack of options. Yeah, it's forcing Ten Hag's hand, our lack of options. Because even say he did want to play Sancho in the 10, he couldn't. He can't at this moment in time. Even if that was his prerogative and he was like, you know what? I'm going to play Sancho in the 10. He can't now. Because Emma made the point. That game against Leeds, Garnacho is one of our two. He's the only. We only have two wingers who are 100% fit and ready to go, like Matt Sharp, and that was Rashford and Garnacho. Because Sancho's not there yet, even though he's getting there, and that's a problem within itself. Again, this ties back to what I consistently say about our team being short in terms of quality. That should never be the case. Should never ever be the case where it's just, and it's not even like we have an injury crisis. It's one injury. It's Anthony. That's legit it. It's not like it's four. It's like 3-4 wingers are out, and you go, Jesus, one of them injury crises. One injury, and we're down to bare bones. But Ten Hag's working miracles, even though I believe he did get it wrong, and he should have played Garnacho on the right and Rashford on the left. And if he chooses to go with that front three against Leeds, play Rashford on the left and play Garnacho on the right. But he'll probably take Garnacho out of the firing line. But I've said this, I want to see Sancho in the 10 as a false 9. I want to see him play centrally. I think he has all the attributes to succeed there. In a 10 against certain teams where we're dominating the ball. Because like Eddie said there, I believe so. And Z, when I say injuries, yeah, we only have Donny and Ericsson, but I was talking more so the wide players, the wide positions. But what was I saying? Eddie mentioned it in terms of one thing Bruno is very good at. When we don't have the ball, I don't mind him in the 10 when he has to do a job and press and run around and be energetic and be combative. But if we're dominating the ball, I'd play Sancho in the 10 or Sancho false 9. I really want to see that. We probably won't, but I would like to see it. I would. Too short of 30 likes. Let's get up to 30 likes. Starlord says we don't beat Barcelona without Anthony, in my opinion. We don't have to beat. I wouldn't say Anthony's that vital. And number one, I don't think we have to go there and win. I just think we have to avoid defeat. If we avoid getting beat at the Camp Nou next Thursday, I think we'll win the tie. Just don't get beat. And because there's no away goals, there's not even incentive for us to go there and score. I'll take 0-0 right now and say, come back to OT and beat them over 90 minutes.
Man, people, they're not as good as people I think are believing. That too. I don't think that they have the wing talent. I don't think midfield they have the talent.
You're not really a fan of Pedri and Gavi.
Work tryhards. One of them, I think it's the Gavi brother I've seen a couple times. But again, it's that tiki taka. Like we see that 4 times a year.
I know you're not.
No, you know me. If you're not 2010 Spain, I don't want to see it. If you're not 2010 Spain, I don't want to see it. Like I think you're talking about 2022 Arsenal, 2023 Man City. Like, nah, bro, it's not. No, and again, I don't think they're that talented a group. I really don't. I think, especially with the addition of Casemiro, understanding how they play,
That's
understanding
true.
what they're trying to do.
That's
I
true.
think we're set up to really be a good squad going in there. And then again, we have, I think we have experience, right? We have certain mentalities who have dealt with that place and understand that they can coach everybody else on how to act right in that
Mm.
situation. We talking about Varane and Casemiro. You're talking about even to an extent of Rashford, who's been playing in hostile Champions League games, Europa League games. Ten Hag been there, done that in the highest, uh, the highest degree of pressure, being a champion in his league and taking Ajax to where they've been. They're not going to be scared.
Oh,
So
facts.
I think that's in our favor. And I think again, it's back in European competitions without Ollie. I like our chances. I just do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really do. So yeah, as much as Anthony will be a miss, I don't think that Anthony is the be all and end all against Barcelona. And Drizzy saying Jez, it's not hate. People don't like people criticizing Garnacho because he's young. Like I said, me again, Drizzy does. It's about the over the top criticism. Criticize him, yes.
What do you
Go
believe
on.
is over the top criticism? Like, because
That
for
he's yeah, go on.
me saying he's
Hmm.
not good enough, um, I don't believe it's over the top
No, I don't
because
believe that's over the top. No,
Mhm,
it's more
mhm.
so when I say over the top, talking about him like having no impact whatsoever. Like you ain't said that, but I've seen that no impact shouldn't be anywhere near the team, bro. Like no, we can still have an impact. To say I've seen people someone mention it. Oh, he's not better than Alanga. He's better than Alanga. Like let's not do this.
uh,
He's better than Alanga. He's definitely better than that. Just from a technical standpoint, he's more. I seen him
there,
even that
yeah.
game. I've seen him pluck. I seen him twice. Somebody clipped the ball over to him. I think it was Bruno one time. Someone, another player, clipped the ball over to him, and he just pulled it out of the sky. Alanga, I've never seen do that. Just
All
that.
I
That's
say
when
is,
I say overly when I say overly critical, like going beyond that game. Because then again, very similar to what happens if he then goes and puts in a performance against Leeds. Because at this
yeah,
moment in time, I just look at him as a squad player.
yeah,
That's how I look at him. So therefore, I judge him at squad player standards. And
mm,
then adding the fact also that he's 18, I judge him off that as well. Similar, this is why I don't get onto a Fred or McTominay. Because I look at you, man, as squad players. Weghorst is the same. Your level, this is why I don't even criticize Bruno too heavily until someone asks me. Because I look at Bruno, your squad player levels. The players I'm critical of are De Gea's, Delo, Varane, Martinez, Casemiro,
mm,
Ericsson. They're the five I look at and go, yeah, Rashford I throw in the mix as well and go, yeah. But if I think your squad level, squad player level, I'm not going to criticize you like you're a first teamer. I'm not going to criticize a Garnacho like I would a Rashford because I expect much more from Rashford than I do a Garnacho.
mm.
Same way I'll be more critical of a Martial than I am a Weghorst because I expect much more from Martial and the list goes on. Same at the back. Lindelof plays. I ain't as critical of Lindelof as I am of Varane. That's so when I say overly criticize him being spoken about like he's a first teamer, it's like, and he's
Mm.
not that. And he shouldn't be that. Yeah. And could he get better? Yeah, he might be terrible. He may get worse. This may be a ceiling. I'm saying I don't know. I'm just waiting for a bigger sample size.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to him,
Mm.
and the only thing I won't hear is I don't like hearing
Mm.
is that he's young, right? Because here's my thing, man.
Come.
Once you get out on there, once you get on that pitch, it's no longer it for me. Once the manager says, I entrust you to be on here and not mess this up,
Mm.
it's fair game. Even like with things like some injuries, right? Like when
Yeah.
we say a player's injured and he's playing injured, the moment you're out there, you put yourself out there in the firing squad. So I feel like I have to be consistent because I can say that, everybody's coming to the game with something,
Mm.
right? Whether it be mentally, I don't know what they're going through at home. Like with Sancho, right?
Mm.
The best thing Sancho could have done for himself was remove himself because mentally he wasn't there. And you could see on the pitch, right? People were like, "Oh, this guy is playing terrible right now. He can't put a game in. Woo, woo, woo."
Mhm.
There wasn't. I don't. We're. It's just for me. We're inconsistent with the level of grace. I'm saying we as a collective, because I might fall in this too. But I just feel like we're too inconsistent with the level of grace that we give players when it comes to messing up. That when it comes to the age thing, I don't. That's just me personally. I don't even factor that
I,
in
yeah,
because
I
again,
put the
I'm a fan of Musiala. I
yeah.
love Musiala. I could watch
Mhm.
Musiala play football with the sound off for
Mhm.
24 hours,
Yeah.
right? And he's a young one and he's special. But I just love the way he plays. I don't even it's just an added bonus that he's young doing this, right? But I've seen a level
I
from
get you.
him to when he drops, I'm going to criticize. Like if he, let's say for instance, right,
Mhm.
he doesn't improve,
Yeah, we're gonna look at him. Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
look
yeah,
at him,
yeah, yeah. Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And the thing with Garnacho is at a base level, I don't see anything that's telling me improvement is on the way because I don't see a base or a foundation that's strong enough to give me that belief.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
You don't
what I
see that.
think. That's what that's the thing is with me,
That's
right?
fair.
And so again, we can you criticize all 11. You criticize all 11. You
Mhm.
criticize
Yeah,
every single player on the every single player can get it. Nobody is above reproach.
I agree with 100%.
You know?
Nobody should be. You know what I'm saying? But how I look at the age thing, I look at it very similar to a player coming back from injury. So if a player's had 3, 4 weeks out and he comes back from injury, I'll criticize his performance if he's poor the next game, but I'll give him more leeway knowing he's coming back from injury. That happened in the last. That was the low. The lows
Yeah.
come back from injury. The lows a player I actually rate, but I'm gonna give him more leeway because I know you are coming back from injury. I know you are not up to speed. You are not fully match sharp. Doesn't mean he can't get criticized because I did criticize him. I didn't think he was good. Played his part in the goal though, which I was happy about, and that's how I'm looking at it. But with Garnacho, because he's 18, I'm like, that will because he's 18 and I like enough of the attributes he has. I go, all right, let's see what happens. I'm not even saying you are the guy. I'm saying I want
Mm-hmm.
to see this. I've seen enough that makes me go, yes. All right, you're here this season. Let's see what happens for the rest of the season. Let's see what happens next season and go from there. Let's see how you go now from 18 to 20 years old. Let's just see.
Mm-hmm.
Big up to Double A says young players are always, but always in capital letters, inconsistent. He's still learning the game. We've seen enough this season to know we have a gem. Gem, let him develop. So see, Double A's gone further than I have and gone. We have a gem here, and I hope Double A is right. No, I hope he is right. Do I believe we have a gem?
You said
No,
what?
but do I believe we have someone who can play a part in this team? Yes, and that's first,
See, see,
first.
see.
And see,
This
look,
is
you
this
just
is
got
what
three
be
different.
getting me in
Yeah,
trouble.
but see how we've got three different opinions on the same guy. You're saying you haven't seen enough. I'm saying
Yeah.
I've seen enough to let me go and see. Double A saying he's a gem. We all hope Double A is right.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
just seen enough, man.
but that's first.
I
Yeah,
the thing that's working in his favor is he's produced in some very significant moments,
that's what I
right?
like.
That's what's in his favor. I think it was a goal and assist against Aston Villa, and I think it was the
Fulham,
Fulham
Fulham, yeah.
performance. But that's what we have agreed upon with him is that 20 minutes impact sub. He has that. For me, that's his ceiling, right? Him perfecting that role of being a 20 to 30
You
minute
saying
impact.
impacts? You saying impacts of?
Yeah, at his now can he do that consistently is the question, right? But I don't want to see him starting ever again. I can make that perfectly clear. I because I just don't think he's whether he okay again. Time will tell. Time will tell. That's a fact. That's a fact we can't argue, right?
Yeah.
Whether he's the guy you say he is, where you can see progression, or whether he's the guy I say he is, time will tell. Because I think the one, and again, I'll give him, this is the grace I'll give him, is that he's 18, right? But at the other thing, I just need the grace that we give to players to be consistent. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to tell me a player had a terrible game, and then I'm listening to your reasoning, and it doesn't make sense from the level of grace that you gave the likes of a Garnacho for being young, that's where I have a problem.
You're
Like,
asking for consistency across
yeah,
the
that's
board in
it.
terms of
Because
criticism.
I'm just asking for, if you're going to find an excuse for his level of play, do that for everybody. Who deserves it? Who deserves it? Because I've said with Fred, I've said numerous times, if you play Fred without somebody who has the responsibility of managing the ball in the midfield, you'll see the worst of Fred. And yesterday, Fred was out there with Sabitzer and Bruno. So he was out there with Sabitzer. So did I expect Fred to have a good game? No. But did I expect him at some point in time to show some level of quality? Yes. And people, and this is always my thing when it comes to Fred, people will hop right over Bruno just to get to Fred.
That's true. I do agree
That's
with
it.
that. I agree
That's
with
it.
that a lot. And they both deserve criticism, but
And they
Bruno gets,
both deserve the criticism.
yes, what
That's it.
Bruno gets away with is crazy. Like his performance yesterday was awful, and we're talking about Garnacho.
Talking about Garnacho, even that,
Yeah,
I'll concede on that point. I'll
yeah,
concede on that point.
like
Maybe
he
I'm
should be the,
speaking too much on Garnacho, and we should be just speaking.
like Bruno should be that talking point. This is me personally speaking on this. If we're talking criticism, if you're talking all three, then people will tell you Bruno's the best one out of the three. He's the captain at the end of the day. So therefore, add in that factor as well. I'm looking at my captain to stand up. And we can
Like, what are
argue as
you
bad
doing?
as Fred was. Why does Bruno get away with it scot-free? He does. And I've stated this.
Like, legit,
I'm not a fan.
Let me,
Yeah, go on.
because I want to spend some time.
Yeah, go on.
What was he doing yesterday? What was this is a consistent theme with him, that if there's
And
no goal
before you
involved.
continue, yo, Lengen Tweet, it's not a question of disliking Bruno. Did you watch the Lengen Tweet? Did you watch the game? If you watched the game, let me know what your thoughts are on Bruno. If you didn't watch the game, forget asking me and Eddie. Ask the people in the chat on a scale of 0 to 10 how well Bruno played in that game and how many poor performances he's put in. When is the last time? Somebody told me in the chat the last time Bruno's played well in back-to-back games.
And this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. First off, shout out for the Morehouse hoodie. I should have got that in first. I did that. Second of all, Langen Sweet, you should really be on our side, because as much as I don't rate KDB as a footballer, I would never compare that man to Bruno.
Yeah, I know. And this
I would
he
never.
says, yeah, I did. He was crap yesterday, but he's normally your best player. He's never our best player. Who told you this? He's not top 5 for us this season. And if he is top, he isn't top 5. I'm saying Varane's been better. Martinez has been better. I can't believe what I'm about to say.
Casemiro.
Luke Shaw has been better.
Luke
You know what I'm saying?
Shaw's been
Luke
better.
Shaw has been better. Casemiro's been better. Ericsson's been better. Rashford's been better. That's 6. So he's not top 6. 7. Dalot's been better. 7. He's not top 6, top 7. He's not that good, but people just gloss over this.
Yeah, man.
People really gloss over this. And then when I mention it or Eddie mentions it, it sounds wild. But like I said, somebody told me the last time this guy played well in back-to-back games. But we're here. The talk of the town is 18-year-old. The talk of the town is Fred. How about the club captain? Who created nothing. Attacking midfielder, he created nothing. I missed a good chance for us. So it's not a question of dislike. Shut me. I keep saying this. Shut me up. I want Bruno to perform well and shut me up. I want him against Leeds to have an 8, 9, 10 out of 10 game. Same against Barcelona. Same against Leicester. Go have a quality performance in the cup final. Shut me up this month. Please. Go and perform in all these games. So then I can celebrate and people could be in the chat, yo, Flawless, you were so wrong about Bruno. He was this, and that. Because when he plays well, it's all hail him. When he plays poor, people want to shove it under the carpet. And that comes back to the consistency. Because when he plays well, I'll give him his flowers. Like I said this against City, he was very good. He was an important piece of our game plan. And that's not to be underestimated, the job he does. That's a tough job to do on fullbacks. Go out wide, or a tough job to do on the number 6 of the other team. I don't underestimate that because we've had Manchester United in the past have had other players who have done that role. Whether that's a Park Ji-sung, we've seen do this countless times. Rooney did it. When Ronaldo played through the middle in certain games and Rooney was played out wide. There's a reason for that, as great as Rooney is. So I'm not downplaying it. He's just not that good. That's what it is.
Simple.
He's just not that good. He's just really that's what it is. Why don't I rate him? Because all his best attributes are off the ball. That's why I don't rate him Lengen Sweet. As soon as you ask someone, tell me what he's good at, it's off the ball stuff. As a number 10, tell me what he excels at.
As a number 10, that's
as a
what
number
we're
10,
saying.
tell me what he excels at on the football. And when I say that, I'm talking on a scale of 0 to 10. We're saying he's an 8 out of 10 or above at such and such. What is he an 8 out of 10 at? Let's list all his attributes, all his on-the-ball attributes. We can name them all like his football manager and run through them all. All his best attributes are off the ball. Working hard, pressing, combative, closing down, being energetic. All of these, all well and good. But as a 10 and an attacking midfielder, what does he excel at on the football? Please, someone tell me. Or is he just the Portuguese Mason Mount?
I don't even feel the need to disrespect Mason Mount like that. That's what the point I'm getting at it. Like I've seen enough. And the worst part is when every time an actual number 10 who I rate comes to OT and plays better than him, and I'm just looking at it like, man, if we had that on our squad. I'm gonna be real, people. I'm gonna be real. Like, there's so many 10s in this Premier League that I take over him.
All right, maybe it's a bit hot. My bad, Mike. Maybe it's a bit harsh on Mount.
Apologies.
Maybe. But hey, if you ask the Chelsea fans, if you ask the Chelsea fans, they'll probably tell you different. All right, Lengen Sweet. If you believe Bruno's,
I'm not even gonna.
Cool.
I can't even. Yeah. I don't have the energy to engage with that one. I'm gonna let him do that one.
Yeah. Let that go. The same way when someone mentions Ollie and you see me, I just seen Eddie's eyes go black. Let it go, fam.
I'm
Let that go. You know what, Lengen Sweet? We're gonna call you crazy and just keep it moving. He said, "Call me crazy." We'll call you crazy. Big up to you, though.
Yeah,
big up to you.
That's a hell of a thing to see to start your Friday morning off. Lord have mercy. But we'll move. Yeah, I think because I saw. Let me look up this thing real quick. Because somebody was saying Z.
Oh, I was gonna get to that, but all right, go on. I'll let you get to that. Go on.
Bruno has been crap since he got here. Don't let the goals and assists fool you. I don't know if you watch basketball. There's a player by the name of Russell Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook because he plays hard, right? And that's a different thing, but he'll get 20 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. And they say, oh, he was phenomenal. He did this, he did that. But then you actually watch him play. And you see how he gets those numbers. And you see how sometimes it's a detriment to the team, him actually getting those big, crazy numbers. Numbers aren't everything. Especially when you're making players worse to make those numbers a part of your story. I don't care what anybody tells you. He's a very selfish footballer. Right? Very selfish footballer. And at certain points, that has hurt us. And he's not a great decision maker at the same time. So he wants to play the pass to get the assist. when he could play a simpler one and allow us to maintain possession of the ball. He wants to take a shot from 30 yards out. These are not rational decisions. Man, he's not doing that on the pitch. Like I don't know what else to tell you. He's just not that guy for me. Like again, I would I would take Madison yesterday.
Absolutely.
I would take Madison yesterday. I'm just like, please save me. Swap deal, trade. You know, the trade deadline was there. Just I will give you Bruno. Let him change your life over there. Give me Madison. It's okay, Z. We can challenge our opinion as long as you're respectful. I don't think
Yeah,
that's been
and
it.
it's Z, you gotta listen because clearly you're not listening. Because when you just asked me this and just said, and this is where I get annoyed when people don't listen because you said flawless. If Bruno plays well, would you give him credit? Just asking. Did I not just say 5 minutes ago he was very good against Manchester City? Again, but you just want to hear what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay attention, and this is what
Again,
annoys
man.
me. I literally just said verbatim. Bruno was very good against Manchester City. The role he played was pivotal in us getting that victory. Else, forget his goal. He played very well outside of that. He had a job to do, and he did that job to a T. So this is where I get annoyed when it is. Would you?
This is not an echo chamber. This is I'm
No,
talking about Bruno. I'm talking about Bruno Langley. This is not an echo chamber. This is not we just want to hear what we like to hear. If you present us with an argument, you present us with evidence to support it, we'll listen. But
facts.
just don't come out here, say something that we disagree with, and expect us not to push back. That's all it is. It's just pushback,
Facts. And don't ask me
right?
questions on stuff that I've already stated.
And
That's
then
annoying too. Don't do
to
that.
the thing, like for example, with because I can understand if I was on Twitter, like I bet you everybody's talking about that. Rand's probably got you and Rand's probably got clipped up about the Garnacho thing,
I'm
right?
probably like, yeah, I'm probably getting slandered somewhere on socials,
Yeah,
but we move.
somewhere. That is a level of conversation that should be more had on these platforms. But because people have agendas and want certain opportunities, certain conversations are sacrificed, right? And certain kinds of conversations are sacrificed. Aaron was kind of in the in between, right? But
Yeah,
you had
he's
Flawless and Saeed adamantly sticking up for Garnacho. Adamantly. Like they told you, give him a chance. They said
huh?
that numerous times. Even with the things they have more again, because I don't deal with attitude from people I don't think can give me attitude, right?
Yeah,
Like
and you did say that. Yeah,
if you ain't got no house, don't tell me my joint dirty. Don't
yeah.
even think about it. Don't even think about
I
it. And that's the thing when Garnacho is showing that attitude on the bench the first time, and then in the preseason when they're talking about how he had an attitude, I'm like, are you that guy really to be doing all that?
mm-hmm.
Right? You can have that conversation, but they'll tell you, okay, their point is, I see that he's immature. They stress that on numerous times. We disagree. We just think it's because he's immature, not because he has a general behavioral
Yeah. I look
problem.
at him as like he's 18. Plus, I trust Ten Hag as well to deal with that. I feel like there's an adult there to if it gets out of hand, he'll be formally punished.
You
I think
can
so.
you can take whatever stance you want in the comment section, or if you get the opportunity to stand here, just stand on it and defend it reasonably. Is all that people ask. People come in
Mhm.
here and defend Bruno. If they gave a good argument, then we'd listen. We still
Yeah,
disagree, but
there's
we'd
just nothing
listen.
because,
We're not here
like
to
I
silence people.
yeah, like I always say, what does that man excel at on the ball? And Z, you say you went to the kitchen, so you missed it. You should know, like, and this again is what is like irritating. Who do I not praise if they play well? I will praise a player. I don't have agendas against players. I just rate certain players. I don't rate certain players. So let me repeat verbatim. Bruno Fernandes against Manchester City was very good. He was pivotal in what we did. And outside of the goal, he performed his role to a T. I was an advocate for him playing for that purpose because he has the attributes to deal with certain things that Manchester City were doing because we're without the ball. And I believe all his best attributes are without the ball. But yet when you're dominating the ball or it's 50-50, I believe he's a hindrance. But shut me up. Go perform away at Leeds on Sunday. Barcelona on Thursday, I'm really looking at you because I believe that's a game made for him. With all that space to hit with that high line, and one thing he can do is hit the ball long, I'm like, okay. I'm expecting something. We play a cup final on Sunday. His second cup final, because the first one he played and he was awful. Let's not forget that. Europa League final, he was awful. We're not going to dispute that. Stand up and be counted. Go put in a man of the match performance. So you can say, you know what, Bruno was great today. Not no 5, 6, 7 out of 10. Go put in a 9. If he's as good as you man say he is, go put in a 12 out of 10. If he's that good. Same with the Barcelona games, both legs. This is a big month. Go and deal with it. And this is my problem with him, is that he's not good enough. And Z, you've heard me criticize Fred as well. So I don't get, the Fred's been crap for years. So that's one thing I don't like about people who defend Bruno. It's always a move of the goalpost. Whether it's Z here talking about Fred or it's Leng and Sweet talking about Pogba. No, we're talking about Bruno Fernandes. So let's talk about Bruno Fernandes. Pogba's no longer here. Bear in mind, Pogba won 2 trophies in his time here. Bruno's won 0. And Pogba had a worse team and was the main man. But we're not talking about him. Same with Fred. Fred's not good enough. I've said there should be a squad player at best. But I put Bruno in that same bracket. I think he should be a squad player at best. I think there's games for him, i.e. Manchester City at home. Game's perfect for him to do certain jobs. You need somebody to do a job on a fullback, Bruno. For those that remember, very Park Ji-sung-esque. He used to do that. Fergie would play him in certain games, whether it was an attacking right back or an attacking left back or a creative midfielder they had, like a Perlo, and say, yo, Park Ji-sung, that's your guy. Herrera did it for younger people. Herrera did the job on Hazard. I'm not saying Bruno should man-mark someone, but I'm saying in that type of defensive role, but not man-mark like that. Yeah, man, this Bruno defense reminds me when I see Son getting defended. Jez, the reason why people have to defend him because his performances haven't been up to scratch. Because if performances are up to scratch, people don't have to defend him so valiantly. They don't have to defend him with so much vim. Why does Casemiro not get this type of defense? Because Casemiro performs at a high level. Why did I stop for the past 2 years defending Martial? Because I can't defend him. Because he don't play. Same with Sancho. I can't defend Sancho's performances before he left. Because I'm a Manchester United FC star. I want what's best. So when people are criticizing him, it's fair. I'm not saying fair, flawless. From my perspective, Bruno is not good against low blocks, but when there is space, he excels. I agree with that. That's why I'm expecting him to play well against Barcelona. But what kind of number 10? How good are you as a number 10 if you're no good against low blocks?
That's the
what
thing.
Use is that? That's like a car that you can only drive when it's sunny outside. Oh, it rains, we can't drive the car. What use is that? And you live in Manchester. What use is that? Where it rains consistently. This is Premier League. You come up against low blocks a lot of the time. Space to hit, Bruno excels. Again, yes, I agree with that. And yeah, Mike, you're right. Park pocketed Messi, underrated player. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ji-sung Park, like unsung hero, 100%. Before we continue, let's get up to 40 likes. There's over 40 of you lot locked in. Let's get up to 40 likes, and we're only looking for 1 new subscriber as well to get us to 5,240 people. Continue to get your questions in. Keep them Manchester United related as well. Let's see what's going on. Theo says, flawless, if Manchester United won that midweek game, do you think the kid would still be getting all this criticism? No, absolutely not. Same way Casemiro and Anthony would have been Anthony and Casemiro would have got more criticism if Palace would have equalized. But because we won, people kind of like, all right, cool. That's what it's kind of like. Winning shuts 99.9% of conversations up. Yeah. Because Manchester United are winning, people ain't talking about problems off the field. The Glazers, even though they're a problem, are less of a talking point. Certain players are less of a talking point. If Fred scores that chance when Sancho squares it back to him, is Garnacho receiving that much criticism? Now we'll be talking about what a great comeback. How he came back from 2-0 down and all of this stuff. And the resilience of the team. Like, that's what it is. So, yeah, he would still get criticized, but not as much. Not as much. Let's see. I know I missed some comments, you lot. Let me see. I'm just making sure I pick out the best questions and stuff. Let's see. Big up Taza in the cut as well. And like I say, big up Double A every single time as well. Yeah, one of the few things I rate about Bruno, I like about Bruno is his work rate and that he's not injury prone. Give him
That's
full
the
credit.
only thing you can give him.
I give him full credit for those
That's
two
it.
things. I
That's
will
it.
not take that away from him. And him also with space. I agree with that. Like what I think it was Z who said that. Yeah, it was. Here's a good question. What front three would you guys play against Leeds and Barca? That's a good question. We'll go to you, Eddie. First one, Leeds, and then
Yeah,
second, Barca.
it's going to be the same for both games. It's It's Sancho, Rashford, and Weghorst. I think they're the front three that give us the most balance. I think with Weghorst, he can play that in between role of being a creator and a finisher if given the opportunity to. And that's the thing I want to speak on. Um, that's the one player I won't criticize because it is
Weghorst.
criminal.
Weghorst.
Weghorst.
Okay,
It
yeah, just
is
making sure.
criminal the amount of times he is looked off playing right through the middle and somebody wants to beat three people and try and put a shot in the top corner. I get Rashford's on form. I get it. I get Anthony's the same way. They have to do a better job of giving him service. Because again, Fred's not there to give him service. Fred's there to win the ball back, get the ball to the players who we want to be creative with the ball. Casemiro is our deep line creator. He's trying to get the ball to the wings, to the more progressive midfielder, i.e., a Bruno. And Bruno is just playing for himself. That's it. And so you have Weghorst there isolated, not getting any kinds of service. And when he does, he usually puts in a fair chance, right? Something that's close, not too far off. And I think that he has been just doing a job. And I don't think we've seen the best of him and what he can provide because we haven't put him in opportunities to show us. So I think that should be the three. I think that should be the three is Sancho off the right because I think he's versatile enough to play there. Weghorst through the middle, and because of how he's been playing, that was again. I think we agree, Ten Hag. I don't. I think he might have thought through too lightly of Leeds that he can get away with that, but you play your best player in the position that he's most comfortable with, and work around that instead of we're putting new players into the squad. Let's make these new players more comfortable and figure out a way to get everybody on point. Nah, they'll play catch up. Let them play catch up. Everybody else, my fault. I got people cutting grass
It's cool, man. You know what I'm saying?
now.
These things happen. People know what time it is, man. It's calm. No stress,
It's
fam.
busy,
Carry
man.
on,
Right
carry
by
on.
the window. Right by the window.
It's
Um,
calm, man. They understand. They
yeah,
understand.
yeah. It's just that'll be my three.
Right,
That'll be
bro.
my
Yeah,
three.
you lot continue to bump up the likes, man. 5 more, man. 5 more. Let's get us up to 40 likes before we close out. Continue to get your questions in as well. Don't forget, Sunday, we will have the Leeds watch along going on. 1:40 p.m. It will start 20 minutes before kickoff as well. Emma says, I honestly think Veghorst does too much like he's in midfield or he's defending. He's always helping the team out, but that takes away from his scoring opportunities, if that makes sense. You're talking about him dropping in and dropping deep when we have the ball, and it also dropping as well when we don't have the ball, which I don't mind. But very similar to what Eddie says. I've said it before, he relies solely on service. He relies solely on service. So it's kind of like if he's not getting no service, what's he supposed to do? I can't tell you he's a bad finisher when he's not getting chances. It's not like he's missing 3-4 chances a game and you're like, what a terrible finisher Veghorst is. We're not even giving him the opportunity to miss. Everything else is calm. His hold-up play, his link-up play, everything. Everything is fine. Giving defenders something to think about. I have no issues with that. Like, if we pull up away at Leeds with him and away to Barcelona, which I think that will be the front three to answer your questions. I think it will be. That's the front three I would play as Rashford, Sancho, and Weghorst. That's definitely the three I'm looking at. But yeah, I would just like to see us actually give him some chances because the one goal he did score for us, he took very well. So yeah, he's doing dog work in the forward. Yeah, man, he's being the grafter up there. And I understand he's not. He's a decent player, and that's it. Like, I don't look at their cost and go, you should be doing so much more. No. MJ says Barca's fullbacks are their outlets. Rashford and Sancho should force them back to defend. De Jong will have to come super deep for the ball, and we could press and spring attacks. Is De Jong playing for them? I know Busquets is injured. Why is their midfield free? Is it De Jong, Pedri, and Gavi? Is it those three? Let me
Yeah,
actually check.
maybe.
I'm gonna actually check. Let me see who they've been playing recently in their last few games. But I'm swear De Jong, I know he's played centre backs at times, but their defense has been
Yeah.
good as of late. Let me have a look.
Yeah, they've been all right. They've been again, but that's not a high level. I don't think that's a high level.
Yeah.
And Z, I think I agree with you on Martial and Rashford. I think Sancho can do a better job in the right. I think
First.
Sancho might be, in my personal opinion, Sancho and and Rashford on their day are our best wingers, and I think Martial is our best striker. But that's gonna have to change. And I'm shocker. I'm not here. I'm not hearing us selling Martial because I'd rather just keep him as a squad player. He's come on to sub and score goals. So I think he can fit into our rotation as a squad player, but if we have to sell him, I think we'd have to replace him with two players because I think we need to have multiple options at striker.
I'm looking here at the Barcelona team, and it seems it's like a mix. It's like Busquets, Pedri, De Jong, and then Gavi will play left.
Like
But Gas
Busquets
is
in
injured.
2023, are y'all kidding
Yeah,
me right now?
yeah,
Are
yeah,
y'all like,
exactly that. But I believe Busquets is injured, but I don't quote me on
yeah,
that.
no, he's injured. He's injured.
Okay,
Dembele is injured.
yeah, Dembele is injured. Yeah, so I'm looking
And
here now.
I got Varane and Martinez. I'm not Lewandowski got to deal with them.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yes.
I think they can deal. I think we can deal with him comfortably with that pairing. I haven't seen a striker who puts fear in them, like who
Mhm.
they're afraid to engage with. And
Right. Keep going, fam. 1 second.
yeah, I think he really is like we really have the people to hold our own in that situation. Um, Midfield wise is where Casemiro becomes fairly important. Yeah, that's my oh, thank you, Faker. Yeah, Martinez. So I go, you know what I do? Z, we agree. Shout out to Z. Martinez is suspended, but I'd probably go Shaw, Varane, Malassi at left. Right. I don't like Shaw at left back. I just don't. But I'll be fair to him and say he offers something creative wise that that Malasia doesn't at this point of his career. Right? Like, and that's the thing with the whole young thing. I don't hear people saying Malassi is young, he can make the mistakes. Right? Malassi is probably like 19, 20.
I think he's 22, but that's where the inconsistencies come because
That's
that's
what
what I
that's
say
what I'm
about my.
saying. That's
That's
what
what
I'm
I say
saying.
about Malassi when people get on him. I'm like, yo, he's young. He's gonna make mistakes. I
Hmm.
say that about Anthony. Anthony's 22.
Ooh, Sabitzer can't play because of two yellow cards. That's tough.
I trust Fred with Casemiro
No,
in
no,
that
yeah,
game.
but then who else? Oh, then yeah, never mind. It's Bruno. Yeah.
Yeah, I trust. I trust in the midfield pivot. I
Yeah,
trust
yeah, yeah,
Casemiro. I
yeah.
trust Fred next to Casemiro.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
So
I'm there for that.
that's what
I'm
I
there
would
for
say.
that.
I trust those. I trust those two. I trust that midfield trio because we're not gonna have the ball as much.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. Bruno's better without the ball. Fred's better without the ball. We're not
yeah,
gonna have the ball. I think that
yeah,
game is tailor made. That big pitch for Fred to run around on and be energetic and go and close down. I
yeah,
think is I think that's the perfect game for him. Bruno with all that space to hit. Yes, I think they'll be fine. Bruno to run around and be energetic and buzz around. Well, Busquets is injured. Pedri, Xavi, De Jong. Yes, I would say that.
yeah. I
That's my
think that's our
that's my
best
thoughts
way
on
of
that. Sorry,
getting it
mum was
in.
taking a drink. Well, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think of it. Pardon me.
No, you're
That's
good.
how
You're
I
good.
that's how I'm looking at it. So against, but this is why I'm confident against Barcelona. I like how we match up. As much as I don't rate certain players, a Fred or a Bruno, whoever, that type of game works for them. Tiki like that tiki tackle, and having the ball and hitting them on the break. Newcamp's a big pitch. I can see a Rashford goal. I can see Rashford scoring. I can see a Garnacho scoring just because of them running in behind.
Yeah.
Just sheer volume. I can see Bruno scoring. Third man running from midfield, saying he's good at 100%. I'm really looking forward to that game. Sabitzer can play in the home leg though, but not away. All right, that's fair. So Sabitzer and both Martinez will be back. And the thing is with that game is I don't think we need to win it. Obviously, I'd like us to win it, but it's not, to me. It's not a must win. As long as we don't get beat, I'm happy with that. And
Right.
yeah, see, I just seen that. Yeah, man, it's all love. It's all love. No stress. It's all love. You lot, yo, let's bump up these likes. Let's get to 40 likes before we close out. You lot, what is going on? Let's get up to 40 likes. Let me see if I may continue to get your questions in before me and Eddie close out as well. IQ Insane says, I'm not worried about the wingers. Attacking midfield is what concerns me. We don't create much. We don't create much. I've been saying this.
Mhm.
IQ, I think you're new here. I'm not sure if you aren't. My apologies if you've been here on a regular basis, but um, I've said this for the longest. The thing that worries me most about Manchester United is our attack. We don't create enough. We don't. We're getting better at it. Even against Leeds, we created more chances, but
Yeah.
our defense doesn't worry me.
Yeah.
I trust our defense to go somewhere and get a clean sheet or only concede one goal and be defensively solid. Our attack is the problem. This is why I'm banking, even in this game against Barcelona, just don't get beat. I'm banking more on the defense, even though I think because of the way Barcelona play, I'm expecting more from our attackers just because
Right.
of how Barcelona play. But yeah, it is a concern. Jez says, "What if we only get beat? What if you only get beat 1-0? That would be a concern because then we'd have to beat them 2-0. And then if they score, which with Lewandowski is definitely possible in the second leg, then you have to go and get 3 goals. I don't know how much. That being said, Barcelona are going to play the same whether it's at the new Camp or Old Trafford. So we'd probably be without. I'm not expecting us to be with the ball in either leg. I'm expecting it to be 60-40, 65-35, 70-30. Not as much as City, but something like that. I expect the game to go like that with that patterns, with them playing the ball and United try and pinch it and spring and break. But I could be wrong. Maybe 10 Hag's like, nah, we're going to go there and dominate and be on the front foot. But I'm expecting the former, not the latter. That's what I'd say. But I'm yeah, if we get beat, hopefully not. It's kind of be dealing with you lot in the chat. If we get beat,
Yeah.
go on, fam.
I think
Go
we
on.
got it, man. I think the thing that they haven't seen is a level of physicality and
Mm-hmm.
the potential to attack like us. And you see them against the Madrids of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what gives them problems, right? People with attacking threats. And I think singular attacking threats. I think we can have more moments of brilliance than they can, even if they might be at the top of their table and we are where we are. Um,
Yeah,
I think again having a Casemiro is so important in a game like we have coming up, and
absolutely.
I think that's the I think that's the difference right there. That's the difference right there for us is Casemiro's presence and his ability to understand what it is to be in a Camp Nou and the Varane's experience to play in a
Varane.
Camp Nou.
True.
I
Yeah.
think those two things and them being at our spine, right? Like when you look at who's allowed us to play the way we're playing, you can look at those two. You can add in Martinez and see why we've improved so much. So I like our chances. I don't think they're a team who we should be at all that scared of.
Mm.
I do really believe that we have the potential to win the competition, and a large part of that starts with how we approach this game. A large part, of course, it's the first match. So I like our chances, man. I really do. I can't even front.
Yeah. So yeah, Jez, I know you asked that question before, but yeah, I'm guessing you asked it. You asked it again, yeah, about the away, about it the losing 1-0. I don't want to lose there. I think that puts us in a terrible state. I don't want Manchester United at any point chasing this game. I don't want us chasing this
Yeah.
game at any point where it's like, all right, we have to go and score one, or have to go and score two. No,
But I will say this:
go on.
he has to find a balance. He has to find a balance because our midfield without an Ericsson, right? What I saw is that we lacked that last pass, the pass to the assist. A lot of what we were doing to get the goal last game around was run up and down the wing. And with Barcelona being as compact as they usually are, you have to be able to make that one pass over the top to make them somewhat respect the fact that if we're going to set up deep, when we lose the ball and we're attacking, they can play that diagonal over the top and make us pay. Without Ericsson being there, it's tough for me to see us being able to do that. But that's why our most important player these next 2 weeks will be Casemiro. I'm gonna stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in different matchups, you can pick different people, but for what we have going on these next couple weeks, between the Newcastle game, the Barcelona game,
Mm-hmm.
Casemiro has to be the best player for us in order for us to have a real good chance of
Yeah,
winning these
because he's
matches.
our best player. He's our best player.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it is. Take best player out of side, and then you don't realize why football side is not as good. It's just that's just common sense.
Oh,
You
and I
take the
would.
best player out, and the reason why I say that is to get to this because Mo mentioned this. Cause
Hmm.
I did see shout out to Hassam. I seen him on Troops' podcast. Shout out to Troops as well. He says you need to humble Hassam on my show next week. Shout out the Battle of the North Gang. He was calling out Ten Hag for playing a system that only works with Casemiro as if we have another DM. Sam's a very intelligent individual. He's smart. He knows what he's doing with this. He knows there's no other option. He's a Liverpool fan. Take Van Dijk out of their defense. How come their defense ain't the same?
Yeah, it's just come on now.
That's just common sense. But you know what's going to happen to humble Hassam because we're going to beat Leeds on Sunday without Casemiro. Then that throws this out. But
Even
yeah,
if right, what does that mean? What does that even mean? Oh, one of the best players in the world.
well, yeah,
Your system doesn't work with like,
it doesn't work as
and
well. Yeah,
he's
of
again,
course.
like you said, he's very smart. That brother got a way with words. He be tricking
Yes,
y'all sometimes. Like he's
he
saying
really
something
does.
profound. He ain't saying nothing profound. He's
Nah.
not saying nothing
He just being
profound.
smart
Just being
and then
smart. Just
he's just
being
trying to trigger
smart.
United fans who fall for it because he said it. I've been rattling United fans with this question. That's why when you see me and Hassam go back and forth, he can't do that to me because he knows I'm too smart for the bullshit. I'm
Yeah, the
saying,
Liverpool system ain't nothing without
yeah,
Mo Salah.
yeah. Of course, you take Salah out of that system, yeah. Of
Come
course, you're
on,
gonna
man.
see a huge difference. Of course, you are. Do you guys take a risk on starting Lindelof with Varane in the first leg? Me personally, no. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'll play Luke Shaw. I
Yeah,
play Luke Shaw next to Varane. Left-sided centre back. I play Malacia left back. Casemiro, Fred, Bruno. Anthony's not fit, so I play Sancho, Rashford, Veghorst, Dalot right back. He's fit now, and Varane, yeah, and that'd be my team. Obviously, the hair and goal. That would be me. That's what I would say. And I can't believe I'm saying this. That's someone me and Eddie have been very critical of. But
yeah.
hey, you know what he's done? Shut me up with performances. Good. Continue.
That's it. That's all you
I
got to
actually, I
do.
actually think he's our third best centre back. That's the craziest shit. I'd sell Lindelof and Maguire before I sold Shaw.
Before I sell him, yep.
I
That's the
can't believe
deal.
I'm saying that as a centre back. I don't even want to see him at left back, even though I thought he was good against Leeds. Well, he improved against Leeds and he played his part in the second goal.
And he wasn't
That's
playing
what it is.
nobody.
That too. Jez says here, we'll end on this one. Eddie, I never got to ask you, do you believe your team is good enough to get the Eddie, I never got to ask you, do you believe your team is good enough to get to the business end of the season and compete for all the trophies and play well enough?
It depends on because I never thought we were in a title race. That's the one thing I'm not.
I presume he's talking about the cups. I'm
Yeah, the
guessing. I'm
Cubs
only guessing.
absolutely. The Cubs absolutely
Mm.
because I look at our matchups. We've had an easy run of fixtures so far. We got West Ham in the FA Cup. I think again we have as bad as our attack is. I think we have better than Newcastle, and I think our defense is better than Newcastle. So I think we should be able to take that one. Um, Europa, that's where it gets a bit tricky for me because Europa is it's a knockout kind of competition with squads that has somewhat comparable talent. So depending on who you get, it could be a toss up.
Mm.
It could literally be, and the unfortunate, like it can literally be just how you were on that day, right? And I think because you have to travel, you have to worry about all these the grand setup of the entire thing. Like there's so many factors at play. Whereas when you talk about a league cup, talk about an FA Cup,
Mm.
there's a level of familiarity that teams have
Yes.
because it's all UK based, and I'm fairly confident about those ones. Europa League, not so much, but I'm fairly confident about our ability to compete with Barcelona and get the job done. Now, this is what the round of 16.
No, it's the playoff round. Round of 16 is the next one. This is
So
a
we got
new
to
round.
play some
This is a
more.
This is a new round they created. So we got this round of 16, and then such and such. I'll get up the schedule for you now, but yeah, they created this for the Champions League dropouts. So that's what this is for.
Yeah,
So all
yeah.
the winners of the groups went through. So they'll be in the round of 16, and then the runners up, and then the Champions League dropouts all have to play here. I'll tell you now the schedule in
And
terms
that's
of
why
dates.
that's why I know like people talk about the Super League and all of that. UEFA ain't no better. UEFA
Oh
ain't no
yeah,
better.
yeah, we know that.
How you gonna give us that match? That match because y'all want to sell some tickets. That's the playoff. That's like a semifinal match. That's not a man. Come on, man. I'm
Yeah, so
pissed.
yeah, this is the competition schedule now. Before I get to that, you lot continue to bump up the likes. We're at 40 likes. There's over 50 of you lot locked in. Get your final few questions in before me and Eddie leave here. And we've gone over the subscriber mark. So salute to you lot. We're at 5,241. Let's try to get four more. Let's go up to
There we go.
5,245. Let's aim in. So we are looking for five more likes, and we're looking for four more subscribers. So 5 likes, four more subscribers, you lot. I
The
know
good
there's over
thing
50 of you
is,
lot
if
locked
you
in.
subscribe, you can really tell us how wrong you think we are because you subscribe.
Yeah, that's true. That is
So
a
you
valid
gotta,
point.
take
That is
advantage
a
of it, man.
valid point. So here it is. So the round, this playoff round, the 16th and the 23rd. Round of 16 is the 9th and 16th of March. Quarterfinals is the 13th and 20th of April. Semifinals is the 11th and 18th of May. And then the
Mm,
final is the 31st of May.
mm.
That's the Europa League schedule.
Yeah, I like our chances after this
I do.
Barcelona. Once we get through Barcelona,
Yeah, through Barcelona, it's game on. It's
it's game
literally
on.
2, 4, 6, 7 matches to the final. And we're not, and in after getting through the round of 16, I'm not, I mean, if we get to the round of 16 quarters and semis, I'm not expecting to play anybody that tough. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really,
Hey,
really not.
beef bully. I was gonna
Oh,
say
get
that's
to
a
this.
great point. That was a great point. In my head, the only issue is what we do in attack, right? Because in my opinion, I was like, you go with the back five because when Casemiro went out, I think it was for the Arsenal game.
Mm.
I said we do something like a back five of Malacia, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Delo, and you have your Fred and your Sabitzer and your Bruno, but then you have your Weghorst and your Rashford up top. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted Martinez to provide more support
Mm.
in the midfield. But after watching the game against Leeds, I don't want to change anything that brother's doing right now. Brother's an animal, dog.
And that's it.
The
Yeah.
way he defends, the way he saves us, let him do his thing. maybe I'd put Lindelof, because I've seen Lindelof play some passes though. You could put him centrally. He has the two behind him to help in defense. And I know you're not too much of a fan because you're asking the somewhat soft youth to play to be a defensive midfielder.
It's not, you know what? It's not even him being a soft. I don't trust him in his normal position. So then to trust him in another position is my issue. But maybe he does a Luke Shaw. I could be wrong, and he does a Luke Shaw, and he plays DM, and it's like, Lindelof has been quality here. Let's play him here. Maybe we get that. I just don't see it. But then again, if you would have told me Luke Shaw in a back four at centre back, I would have told you you're crazy. So I want to be wrong. Maybe. That's what I'll say on it.
Man,
but yeah, Martinez would be a shout with Casemiro there if he wasn't playing so well. I look at the Martinez playing centre back as much as I see Rashford playing wide left. Why take a player in form playing in that role? Take them out of that position. So yeah, with the DMs, I would play just Casemiro and I play Fred in there. And if not, obviously Casemiro, Sabitzer, like a mixture of those. Well, Casemiro with one of those two, depending on the game. McTominay will be back as well. Considering how long, even looking here, how long the season's going to go for, Eriksen's going to play much more of a role coming back than I thought.
But I thought he's out for months.
Yeah, they're saying April, though. 3 months.
Oh, shit.
You said April. Yeah, so I'm looking here. For instance, if he came back April, he'd be available for the quarterfinals of the Europa League.
Okay.
Which is the 13th and the 20th. And then you got the semifinals.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
Yeah, go on.
I'm forgetting that the World Cup extended everything.
This is what I'm saying.
My time.
Same, it happened to me because I thought April he's done it, and I'm looking here, it's like, yo, he comes back. So man is saying late April or May. So even if it's late April, you're available semifinals, final.
Yeah.
FA Cup as well, you're available for those last stages. League games, you're available. Even if he only plays that, if he's available for the last 10 games of the season, 15 games of the season, that could be a massive boost. Just to give us something different in there.
Emma, that's what I said. I would play Shaw at left center back next to Malacia, and I'd play Lindelof. Oh, you're saying, okay, I hear you now. You're saying you don't want Lindelof. You'd say Shaw and then Martinez down the middle and then Varane on the other side of him. I think
I'm with Emma on that. If we're gonna play Martinez midfield, it's Shaw and Varane. That's why I do agree with her.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've said that. And yeah, to answer your question, I know you just got, and Z will get to your other question about the fixture list in a second. Matthew, I know you missed it, but you're saying, would you play Shaw at centre back against Barcelona in the first leg, being Martinez is suspended? Yes. 100%. Yes, I would, without doubt. And Ed says, I know you disagree, Flawless, but I'm not mad if we lose to Barca. Only wanted the Europa League in August because top four looked unlikely. Now it's realistic, but added fixture congestion if we win could damage that. Well, I would play fixture congestion. I hear you one. I would prioritize the Europa League over the league. To me, what's better, top four or the Europa League trophy? The Europa League all day long to me.
Europa League trophy.
The Europa League, so target that. I would prioritize. I've already said this. Premier League would be fourth priority for me. Behind the Carabao Cup, I forget that because we're in the final, so that's not really a prioritized thing. FA Cup I'd prioritize over the Premier League, and Europa League I'd prioritize. We're not going to win the Premier League. So rather than just finish top four to get in the Champions League, how about we go and win the Europa League and also get in the Champions League, and you also get a trophy involved in that? I don't get this thrown away of the Europa League because of fixture congestion. Forget the Premier League. We're not going to win it. If we finish fifth and win the Europa League, I'm over the moon about that. Rather than finish fourth, go out of the Europa League, and then Ludogorets wins it, or Union Saint-Gelo. And then we go, right, we could have won that.
I couldn't believe it.
Yo, but my point is, I'm just using those two teams.
No, that's what I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. If I turn on the notifications after we lost, and them the ones that won the competition,
we like. After another thing, all these suspensions for Martinez and Casemiro expansion, it could be a blessing in disguise for us. What you think? I think Casemiro being fresh and fit for the Europa League and being fresh and fit for the Carabao Cup final could be yes.
Is it the 19th or the 26th?
The Carabao Cup final, 26.
Yeah.
26.
Okay, so we got a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Some weeks.
No, yeah, a couple weeks. No watch along for it, people, as well. But Casemiro suspended up until that point. But he can play in the Europa League games. You can play in the Europa League games. And then play, but he's suspended for the Leeds game and the Leicester game. But then he'll be fresh and fit for the other three, the more important competitions. I know it sounds crazy. The Premier League's not that important to me personally speaking, people, because it's the only competition we are currently in. I genuinely believe we cannot win. I think Ten Hag just needs to use it to continue to build confidence, build momentum, because you can't turn form on and off like a light switch. So we need to keep the momentum high with that and keep players' confidence high. However, if he's got to prioritize a Europa League game or a Premier League game, I'm picking Europa League. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't let me, like Eddie said, turn on the TV and we see at the end of May, Union Saint-Gelo picking up the trophy. Or Feyenoord. I'm saying, or even a Barcelona. And we go, right, we could have beat them, man. We could have won that trophy. I don't think how starved we are of trophy. I want everything. Bring me a treble. Bring me a treble. All right, we'll end on this one anyway. From Z says, how many points do you guys expect from our next 5 league games? I'll pull up our league games now. I'm gonna run through it.
That's why we got Liverpool soon.
Yes, we play Liverpool 5th of March after West Ham in the FA Cup. I'll tell you now. So here it is. I'll tell you now. 1 second. So yeah, Leeds away, Leicester at home.
3-3.
So wait 1 sec. So yes, Leeds away, Leicester at home. Newcastle at home, Liverpool away, Southampton at home.
Newcastle at home.
No, I tell a lie. That's the final. Sorry, my bad. Liverpool away, Southampton at home. That's the 5. So it's Leeds away, Leicester at home. We got so many games. Liverpool away, Southampton at home, Brighton away. That's the 5.
5 will probably end up drawing 1. But if the over-under on wins is 3, we're getting at least 3 wins.
All right, so we'll run through it. So Leeds away, what are you saying? Win, lose, or draw?
Win.
Leeds away. All right, 3 points. Leicester at home.
Win.
So that's 6. Liverpool away.
Oh, that's a win.
Okay, you got 9 points. Southampton at home.
Oh, that's a win too.
12. Brighton away.
That's the draw.
So you're saying that's 13 points. I agree with you, but I'm switching draws. I think we draw away at Liverpool and we beat Brighton away. So yeah, me and Eddie both have the same amount of points from the next 5. It's just the games. Eddie's saying draw away at Brighton. I'm saying draw away at Liverpool. But we're saying 13 points.
Yeah.
Both saying 13 points, which would be a great return from our next 5 games.
Yeah.
By the way, people. But again, I'm looking at them Europa League games and the EFL. I'm looking at the 4 cup games. The Barcelona games, the final against Newcastle, and the FA Cup game against West Ham. They're more important to me. They're the games I'm looking at and going, yeah, they're much more important. Let's deal with them. But we both said 13 points, which is testament to how confident we are, considering when we spoke about the deficiencies in our team. But I trust Ten Hag and I trust the manager. But yeah, 3 more likes gets us up to 50 people.
Yeah, like literally, 50. Bro. I'm gonna be real. There's only a couple players I don't trust on this pick. Everything else, like I have no reason not to trust. Like the majority of the team he puts on that pitch every time I trust, but there's like 2 or 3 that you can't. And I think we should be straight. If we play our cards right, I think the only one that's going to be tricky still is going to be the Leicester away, because I think that's going to be Casemiro's 3rd game.
Nah, Leicester at home. It's Leicester
at home.
Yeah.
I think Casemiro still won't be there.
Yeah,
and I don't think McTominay will be there as well.
He didn't. Did he say? No, he didn't say. He just said Leeds and Barcelona. So we don't know if McTominay and Antony will be back yet. That. And Martial. He just said those 3 for the next 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And to Ed, who says the way Janonto and Harrison had us on ropes, Matoma and March could do the same. Don't underestimate Brian. This is what I don't like, is the over the top. For all these Janonto and Harrison had us on ropes, how many chances did Craig? Leeds had 2 shots.
Janonto had that chance because he was given the ball right in front of goal.
Like they had 2.
Other than that, he didn't do much, people. Again, that's why I'm so confident going into Sunday.
I tell a lie. They had 8 shots, but 2 on target. But it's not like they created clear-cut chances. So if they had us on ropes, hey, I'd like to see, if we actually push back how well we play. But sorry to cut you off. Go on, Eddie.
No. Because I'm honestly saying they have 2 goals because we gave them 2 goals. They didn't have 2 goals because they systematically broke us down and got everywhere they wanted to. No. Bruno mistake again. Own goal. Other than that, we just couldn't keep the ball to start the game out. That was it. But then you look at the second half, we were decent in the second half.
Yeah. That's it. I agree they did nothing in the box, but that's why I'm saying don't underestimate Brighton. These men will be clinical. I don't underestimate Brighton.
Yeah, I gave Brighton a draw.
He said a draw.
I gave Brighton a draw.
I said we'll beat Brighton. I like how we match up against them. And I said draw against Liverpool because they'll be bang up for it.
Yeah.
Liverpool will be bang up. And I've seen better Manchester United sides and I've seen worse and worse Liverpool sides, and United go there and lose. I'll go there and drop points. They are going to be bang up for that. Liverpool could have lost their last 10 games in a row. And I still wouldn't be like, yeah, we're going to walk up to Anfield and roll through them. They are going to be bang up for it. They are playing for nothing. At that point, they're probably out of all competitions. Yeah, because it'd be March. So with the two-legged tie, I don't even think, I'm not sure actually. Let me check. I don't think it would have been at that point. Let me have a look. Let's see. Yeah. They could be out. Yeah, because they play the second leg on the 21st, I think. Well, yeah, they could be out of the tie or going out of the tie. So I don't see it. I don't see that being easy. That's why I think, and I don't think it will be a draw. Adding in our congested fixture list, because at that point we would have played Barcelona twice, Cup final, and the FA Cup game. Because we play West Ham on the 1st of March, and then it's Liverpool 4 days later on the 5th. Bear in mind, 3 days before that, we're at home to Newcastle. Bearing in mind, we're 3 days before that, we're the second leg at home to Barcelona. You're honestly acting like you're confident. You'll defo beat us. Hear what I'm saying, Ryan. Hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. And this is why, you know what I'm saying? People are like, why do you get onto Ryan? Because people don't listen to what I'm saying. I have seen
before you do it. Shout out to Ryan, my dog. But go ahead and cook.
I've seen better Manchester United sides play worse Liverpool sides than this and go in there and not win. I've seen Manchester United treble winning side, go to Anfield and not win. I've seen this happen countless times. People are acting like we have an exceptional record at Anfield. We don't. So all the times Liverpool have been bad, all the times in the early 90s, all the way through the 2000s where they've been finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, all them things there and haven't been good. How come we've not gone there and won and we've had championship winning sides? Yes, your team is trash. You've had worse sides, Ryan, is the point I'm making. This is not the worst Liverpool side ever. This is the point I'm making. It's not. Like, Liverpool can beat us on any day. Yes, form means nothing, but that's the point I'm making. I've seen us go there with prime Scholes and prime Roy Keane and not get beat. And get beat and draw. With Beckham, Giggs, Cole, York, Stam, the whole 9. Some of the best players the Premier League's ever seen is the point I'm making. I'm not saying we can't win. I'm just saying with our fixture list, them being bang up for it, I'm saying draw. It's not going to be a walkthrough. It's never an easy game. We never win big there. I think our biggest victory there is probably 2-0. It's probably 2-0. In my lifetime, I don't think... Yeah, we scored 3 goals there once, and that was when we was 3-0 up, and they came back and scored 3-3. And Paul Ince scored the equalizer. All right, Ryan, you just not even listening to what I'm saying. Okay, whatever, man. All right, okay. Whatever, man. Am I asking the same dumb questions? Is there a Q&A tonight? There's a Q&A every Friday. My God. Every Friday, you know, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no upcoming live stream schedule that says Q&A, 11:30 p.m. It's literally there.
He of all people should know better.
It's literally there every Friday. He asked this question last week. No, he asked it last week, Thursday. And I was like, when is there Q&As on Thursday? It's literally, so for everyone that's locked in, there's a Q&A, what's it called, tonight, 11:30 p.m. And then 1 a.m. on the Twitch, we're doing a special courtside commentary, trade deadline day. So we'll be discussing all the things there. So KD going to the Suns, Kyrie going to the Mavericks, Russell Westbrook leaving Eddie's Lakers, all the people that the Lakers acquired as well, plus more. We'll be discussing all the trades, asking all your questions. That's on the Twitch though, people, tonight, 1 a.m. people. 1
The worst
a.m.
part is when I put it forward. I didn't expect the KD situation to happen, and now for about 2 hours that y'all should be there for, I have to look at Peter's stupid fucking face so he can just gloat. That's it. That's why it's just gonna gloat, and I guess I have to sit there and listen. Like, yeah, I mean, still show up, people, but yeah, I have to look at his that face.
Make sure you do. But yeah, love to everyone. And beef isn't no win at Anfield since 2016. Yeah, we gotta put that right. We need to win there. I love winning there. I love winning there, man. My favorite, man. I remember so many victories there. It brings me so much joy winning at that dump. But yeah, we move. Eddie, bless up. Anything you want to add before we close out?
People, make sure y'all tap in everything Flawless got going on. Make sure y'all go support the channel and subscribe and like if you haven't. Always appreciate the engagement in the chat, and people, we are here to answer questions. We're not here to just say sweet, nice things to each other about the players that we love. We're here to talk about Manchester United.
Facts. 100%.
You have an opinion, voice it. We'll get to it if we can. If we don't, it's nothing personal. We just didn't see it. So yeah, I always appreciate these ones, and let's get these 3 points on Sunday. It might be tough for me to wake up, man, because Saturday's a fun day.
Man. Yeah. Don't.
If y'all don't see me, y'all will see me soon. But yeah, man, we'll get the 3
if you're
points.
Not here. All right, love to everyone that's locked in. Like I said, 11:30 p.m. We're back here on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for the Q&A. So we'll be answering all your sporting questions, not just Manchester United. And then 1 a.m. courtside commentary, trade deadline day recap. That's what we'll be discussing, and that's on the Twitch, people. But check out the upcoming live stream schedule because they'll let you know all the shows that are coming up over this weekend as well. But this has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.